Hello, Wild Sauce appeared, and we are back with more Psychic. I was rambling about Mewtwo X and how he's ribbed for your pleasure. Honestly, I think that covers it. I mean, the one complaint I have about him is the odd look of his ears, which, while they have similar points, I don't really care for the curvature of them. It's a lot more, I mean, it's aerodynamic, which makes sense for the evolution, but honestly, compared to the initial design, I don't like the head quite as much. But other than that, I'd say, like, Mewtwo X is probably, in my unpopular opinion, much better than Mewtwo Y. And that covers him. Now, Mew, on the other hand, he's cute, you know? He's a little pink mouse thing. He reminds me of those, like, what are they called? The spring rats? And alas, here we are with Team Galactic, where I think this is where it's a 2v2 match, which are few and in between, honestly. I'm surprised that they really haven't pushed for it. I think their biggest push was in Gen 5, comparatively. At least that's from my recollection. But I don't know, like, the whole reason why I don't bother with Plus or Mine, and not just the fact that they suck individually, but is because of the fact that 2-on-2 battles are so damn rare. Anywho, Mew it's a basic, but it's very charming. It looks like it got a little button nose, and you know, it's got 100 on every single attack, on every single stat, so. And it can learn a shit ton of moves from HMs and TMs, so, you know, once again, not shinies, but legendaries are broke, so if you use them, then you won't need any advice, really. Alright, and then Natu and Xatu. I like these a lot, and I particularly like Xatu, purely because he reminds me of a totem pole. I think that's the deliberate reference when it spreads its wings, but could be mistaken, because he's usually shown flying as opposed to standing up, so I like the contrast. It's the first flying psychic type, I believe, and you know, while it's not particularly like it's a nice combo because there isn't any counterbalancing. Well, by that I mean it doesn't quadruple any damage. It just gives you like a varied typage, which I can appreciate. If I remember correctly, Xatu was one of the first Pokemon in my Gen 2 playthrough, my original one. And yeah, I like these two very much as far as aesthetics goes. They've got this grace about them. Even Natu, who's just like this little bitty flightless bird that looks more pathetic than fucking Spearow, which is amusing to say the least. But like I said, I can appreciate, you know, the motif of them. And the fact that they're green birds makes them even more of a curious aspect. Espeon, one of the add-ons to the Eevee series, to the Eeveelutions. And it's classified as Sun Pokemon, which I don't quite understand. SUN Sun Pokemon. It's okay. Like I can appreciate the simplicity of its design in my older years, but as a kid, I didn't really care for it. It's like, oh, it's got big ears, a marble in its fucking head, and 2 tails. I don't give a shit. But you know, it's a very ordinary design. Like I said, very unassuming, but, I mean, once again, its special attack is great. I love the shinies, particular green. I know there's a lot of green shinies, obviously, but this one is so pertinent that I really do enjoy it. Yeah, other than that, there isn't really much to say. It's a great Psychic mon if you're looking for pure Psychic. It was really hard to evolve it was really hard to evolve into Umbreon if you didn't have Espeon. And unfortunately, that's what I got when I was a kid when I wanted an Umbreon. Even though I think that to this day, like, Umbreon isn't really all that special. Only because I didn't I don't care. When it came to the tank evolutions, I just stick with either Vaporeon or Flareon personally. But that's just me. Slowking! I wouldn't care for it if it wasn't for the movie Pokemon 2000, where it can talk. And it's so interesting because, like, the way that it works is essentially a Slowpoke got clamped on the head, and its brain sort of attached to the brain of the Shelder, and then it became like a super brain, so it's like more intelligent than people in some cases. Although, I reiterate, usually, according to the canon, he can't talk. He doesn't show up in the thing like, oh, hello there, it is I, Slowking. But, you know, he's something. Yeah, I like him a lot, especially his umbrella around his neck. It's an interesting mon. Water Psychic. There's, you know, like, it's got a surprisingly good speed on it as well as special attack. So I would recommend Slowking for sure. Now to Unknown. Unknown is a gimmick mon. By that I mean it's just a whole bunch of letters. There's one for every letter. And its stats are pretty mediocre. I tried using one in my party but unfortunately, you know, it can only learn the one hidden power, and I end up quitting on it. I think the Unknown that I got was Unknown P. It was either Unknown P or Unknown D. I can't remember, one or the other. Yeah, the gimmick's cool. It looks neat and creepy as fuck, but overall, you know, don't really bother putting it in a party or anything. It's just an aesthetic, really. Alright, Wobbuffet. Wobbuffet. This, much like a lot of Gen 2. Oh, by the way, I'm traveling back here. I decided to get a brand new mon. You'll see what it is in a little while. Just because the original was going to be, oh my god, my mind is fading right now because I've been drinking a bit. I drank this much. It was Rampardos. There we go. But I just couldn't find it for the life of me, so I'm like, you know what? I'll get a different one. Sorry, guys. No Rampardos for us today. For us this playthrough. Cause like I would dig into the places where all the guides would tell me to dig. Nothing ever showed up, so I'm wondering if it's like it has to be post game or if there's some kind of specific attachment to it. But you know, I don't care. I'm moving on. Once again, Wobbuffet. If it wasn't for the anime, I wouldn't care. But since the anime does exist, I like Wobbuffet a lot. He's just such a charming personality. He looks frustrated all the time, despite how he tries his best. And his weird shadow tail is nonsense. Its stats, its HP is fucking huge. The rest of it, you know, ain't great. But, you know, it's far from the worst mon, especially when it's got, you know, Shadow Tag and Telepathy as abilities. And from what I recall, it's, unfortunately, it's, the big drawback to him is that he doesn't learn very much. Like, at all. He's got 5 moves to him. Alright, here we go. Counter, Near Coat, Safeguard, Destiny Bond, Safeguard. Oh, he can learn 4. 4 moves this mon can learn. So if you're willing to, you know, endure all that, because he's purely a reflective mon. He's a gimmick. He's pretty much just a gimmick. But, you know, if you can manage the counter, it's really neat. Plus, I love the fact that the female just has lipstick. It has lipstick, guys. Oh my god. I like it a lot. Girafarig. I actually like Girafarig. A lot of people hate Girafarig, but I like the yin-yang style of it, and the fact that the tail has its own, brain and its own intellect. And the fact that it's a giraffe is just super adorable, even though it looks more like a horse, because I don't get that part, because, it's not that big. I don't know. Point is, I like it a lot, and it's the only pure normal psychic, I think, so far. So, it's got that sense of originality to it that separates it from other regular psychic types. Although, if it was up to me, I'd classify it also as part dark type instead of normal. A dark psychic type. I wonder if that's a thing. That has to be a thing. Purely because of how evil looking his back end looks. Alright, Smoochum. If it wasn't attached to the other Pokemon, I'd say more about it, but it's attached to that big one. Lugia. Lugia, and this is a big controversy for me and my friends. I like Lugia better than Ho-Oh, primarily because I think Ho-Oh looks like a giant chicken. And Lugia actually looks like ambiguous as far as its etymology goes. Like, I can kind of see a bird, but I can also see almost like a lizard, like a salamander. I don't know. And it's like got a little chubby belly, which is cute. But the fact that it can like bend the back of its fins back into itself is really cool. I don't know. I like Lugia personally, and like the hands. You know what it is? You know what a big influence on me is when it comes to this sort of thing? Uh-oh. How long am I staying here? How long am I staying here, Silas? You may have screwed up. What have you done? Yeah, I screwed up. Oh wait, no I didn't. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't look at a man behind the curtain. But another reason why I'm probably biased towards this is because it looks like the Falcon Zord from Power Rangers. Oh man, that has to be a reason. I'm moving away before my bias becomes even more ever present. Celebi. Celebi is Gen 2? Celebi is Gen 2? I'm sorry, that confuses the shit out of me because from my recollection, it was from the 4th movie. Is that legit? Is that correct? Huh. I mean, were the legendary dogs part of Gen 2? No, they weren't part of Gen 2, because it was the legendary bird. Huh. The legendary birds were part 1. Lugia is part 2. Oh, maybe I'm just drunk. I don't know. Shit. And why are you standing here for so long, Silas? God damn it, I thought I fast-forwarded through all the bad times. All the bad times. Oh, goodness me. I'm adult. I apologize for that. Anyway, we're gonna move on from Celebi being a Gen 2. Ralts. Ralts I like a lot, even before he became part fairy. Only because, I don't know, I like the ambiguousness of it. He looks like... his sort of head makes me think of, oh yeah, I left this running for a while, and I apologize for that, folks, but we're gonna move on! We're going to take chances, make mistakes, and get messy. Ralts, I don't know, it's really adorable. It also reminds me a bit of Powerpuff Girls, namely because of the nubs for the hands, and, the little dress. Same goes for all the way up to Gardevoir. Now, Gardevoir, I think, is also pretty cool. Oh, thank God, there you go. There you are. You're actually making some progress. The Gardevoir, I find to be a particularly interesting one. I'm not as big of a fan as all those fucking people online who jerk off to Gardevoir. I don't get it, to be frank. God, it's close. The video's coming to an end. I'm sorry about hanging out in front of that Pokemon Center for a while, folks. I had to, and then I travel all the way back. We're gonna leave it off, so, you know, hope you enjoyed. Stay wild. Talk more psychics again next time. Man, I'm loving this. Or I'm just drunk. Stay wild.
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. Nobody knows my sorrow.